All right, today we are going to be replacing the transmission mount on the cross member on the FJ80. We've got, you see I marked it there as a yellow A. We've got this here, so look at the difference in this. See how nice and straight those bushings are. See how old and rounded a 25-year-old bulbous thing is, and they are actually separated. So I've got everything sprayed down with the PB blaster. Got all the nuts on the cross member done. There, I got the 4 nuts, 2 on either side of this done. So we'll loosen those. I got the 2 under here done. I'm going to take the skid plate off. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at it after I get some things just loosened and cracked, is I'm either going to lightly jack this up with the jack and a big plate so I don't have a center part of pressure on this, and just lift it up slightly off the cross member, or I'll do it from the transfer case. So we'll see how that works, but doesn't look too difficult. I've found one video on it. Australian dude, I'll put the link in this video later, but should be fairly easy. I'm going to crack some bolts and we'll see how it goes, and then we'll start doing process. Alright, so I went through and I cracked all the bolts. PB Blaster is your friend. They were super easy to get off. So I did it a day ago and then did it this morning about an hour before I did this. So cracked everything just to get it loose, right? Did these, sorry for the camera angle, also loosened these all the way out. So these 2 are going to come all the way out first. Then you can see I got the jack here. I'm going to jack it just so this cracks off the crossbar about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, enough to get it, the transmission up and off of it. Then I'll drop the bar, and then I will take the mount off of the transmission, put the new mount on the transmission, basically reversing the process, then put the bar back up, etc. So take it off, put it back on the way you took it off, and then we'll see. I'm about 15 minutes in as we speak. All right, so back to this again. So I got the mount back on. You get all the bolts good and hand tightened up. I used a torque wrench, but I didn't torque it to any specific spec. I just did the good and tight method. Thank you, Timmy the tool man, because these are pushing up there, but they are nice and tight, but don't want to strip that out, obviously. Then you mount the crossbar back up on it. Get that up. And all of these, the reason that I know this was centered nicely is all of these went in hand tightened. All these bolts on either side of it went in nicely, hand tightened. Got both sides in, that pushed all this up. So then I've got all 4 of these bolts tightened up very well. And I've got the crossbar on and hand tightened. Then I tightened all of the crossbar up so I know that that was there. Okay, then you drop the jack so that it lowers this onto the crossbar. Then you do these 2 bolts here and tighten those all the way up, get those nice and torqued up. Once those are nice and torqued up, you're good there. Of course, you drop the jack, as I may have just said, so that you can get this back resting on the crossbar. So once it's back resting on the crossbar, then you can tighten these up. Then I went back through and tightened everything up again. Once everything was tightened up again, marked it with the paint pen just so I can come back and look at it and tighten up anything that needs to be done again if there's any movement. And then I'll put the skid plate back on, and then we are good to go. But one thing you can look at here is look how clean this frame and stuff is. So my son and I did, I think, a pretty good job of getting it all clean. We're going to have some more work to do. I think next weekend our Jeep buddy Alan is going to come in and help us out with putting the 3-inch lift on it. and that's gonna be fun and a good 2 or 3 hours worth of work. But we're doing an Eibach 3-inch lift. Love those guys. Check them out. Put it on my GX 470, and that's about it. So this is pretty easy, folks. It takes about an hour to get it done right. So just to give you guys a look at this thing, it's hard for me to do in the sun, but you can see all the cracks in there, and it is literally going around all of it. You can see that gap there, not so much there, but still a bit. And then if you look around the edges, you can see the gaps there. You can also see how this thing is, get it in the sun, how it's kind of bulbous. And then you can see in here where it's pulling off the metal. And then if you look at it this way, you can see it's coming off the metal there, but the sides, this side and this side, are getting kind of bowed out. So I suppose after 25 years of use and heat here in the Arizona sun, because this is a Arizona truck all its life, you can expect it. So that's what it looks like when it's out. And again, the X goes towards the back of the truck and the A goes towards the front. Now what it seems like when you look at it is they're a little bit different. Maybe they are, maybe it's just the way it's been going, but I don't know. So I'm doing it the way it came out is the way it went back in. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Again, took me an hour, and I got everything marked. Next we're going to do, like I said, the lift kit. We're also going to do the motor mounts, because the motor mounts could probably be done as well. We're going to try and do as much in the driveway as we can. What we can't do, we will send off to our friend Justin and the team at Desert Toy Shop here in Mesa, Arizona. If you got one of these rigs, take it over to Justin. He'll do you solid.